the Rotary Club of Key Biscayne and by Flying High for Haiti. And really, your donation is going to make a big, big impact in the life of many Haitian child. The school that we sponsor is located in the south of Haiti, and all the proceeds from this week will go towards sustaining the school. So we have today Vero, who everyone knows Vero in Key Biscayne, right? But anyway, she is a certified life relationship coach and a renowned yoga master. And so we are so happy to have you here. Thank you so much for your support to Flying High for Haiti, Vero.
Thank you, Ines. Thank you so much. So, hello, beautiful people. What an event it has been so far. The week of wellness. So much we have been learning, and what a wonderful organization it has been. The good thing is that we're only in the middle of the week. So I really hope everybody continues enjoying the rest of the week with us. And I feel extremely honored and happy to be here with you. And I have been invited to speak to this loving community that supports Flying High for Haiti organization. And I really want to extend my gratitude to the founder, Ines Lozano, and her wonderful team for all the amazing work that they're doing in Haiti, supporting so many families and providing education to so many children. So thank you very much. So today we will be talking about cultivating contentment and how implementing this very simple and powerful technique and strategy into your life will not only enhance but also transform the quality of your life. So just to give you an idea very briefly of what's going on today, during my presentation, I will show you step by step how to implement 3 proven techniques on cultivating contentment on the daily basis so that you can reset your mind, regulate your emotions, and also experience an overall sense of well-being. During the presentation, there are going to be 2 activities, and one of them requires that you get paper or and pen or pencil, whatever you like to write with. Not something digital. Please, paper and pencil, it's something that works mind and body, very important that we actually write it down. So please make sure that you have those 2 available when the moment comes. At the end of the presentation, we will open for questions and answers, and also that is a moment for you to share your experiences or make any comments. And at that moment, Ines or the moderators are going to open so that that can happen. In the meantime, during the presentation, you can write your questions or make your comments on the side panel on the chat. So, enough said, let us begin. 2020 has hit hard on all of us, one way or another. We've been bombarded with feelings of dissatisfaction, fear. We've been bombarded with feelings of uncertainty and discontent. Therefore, contentment has not been at all part of our default setting. In fact, quite the opposite. Many clinical studies show that since March 2020, depression and anxiety have skyrocketed, where 3 times as many Americans meet the criteria for depression and anxiety during this month than any time before. That's really, really sad. But the good news is that it doesn't have to be that way. The good news is that we can do something about how we respond and react to the inevitable adversities of life. That's why I feel extremely happy to be here to share with you my most powerful weapon in my arsenal of my personal as well as my coaching practice, my tool, my strategy to combat emotional and psychological distress. And that is the cultivation of contentment. Now, the key word here is cultivation, because I'm not inviting anybody to feel content when things are not going well. The key word here is cultivation, because we make steps to make it grow, to make it better. So when we cultivate contentment, our life gets actually transformed. So let me share with you my personal story. Many years ago, when I was in the shadows of life, facing all kinds of trials and tribulations, I was not only sad and drained, but also I found myself feeling self-pity and complaining about my situation. Because no matter how hard I tried, nothing seemed to change. Time went by, and it felt like really life was not giving me a break. It was not easy at all. I felt stuck. I needed to get unstuck. I needed to break the cycle. I did not feel content at all. My complaining, my fears, my frustrations were not leading me to a better place. The truth is I wasn't helping myself because I felt trapped in that cycle. Things were not working and I was complaining, and then I felt fear, and it was a cycle. Before I go on, does anybody relate to this? Does this sound familiar to anyone? Anyways, time went on until one day, at my lowest point, I finally came to the realization. Boom! I realized that nothing was ever going to change unless I changed my attitude from complaining to contentment. That is how I committed myself to cultivate contentment. No matter what, I committed to go against the grain, against the troubles, the tribulations, and cultivate contentment within my circumstances. Then, almost overnight, my life did a turn of 180 degrees. Almost like a miracle, I started sleeping well, feeling lighter, feeling more content, and even I started finding many solutions to many of my problems. The shifting from complaining to contentment did the trick. Because it also allowed me to realize that I had to come to terms with what life was bringing to me. And I was also able to see clearly the many gifts I was overlooking at that were right in front of me in my life. Since then, cultivating contentment has been not only part of my life, but has been priority. So now the next question is, how do we cultivate contentment and how do we maintain it? There is no one-size-fits-all formula or program to fully attain contentment. There are many strategies in our coaching practice that will help to bring more peace and tranquility into our lives. But today, for the sake of time, I'm going to share with you 3 proven strategies so that you can cultivate contentment on the daily basis. Now, the first strategy, let me ask you something. When looking to cultivate contentment, what is the first thing that comes to mind that we need to put into practice? Think about it for a second. The answer is gratitude. The journey itself of intentionally appreciating what we already have leads us into contentment. The fact is that it's impossible to develop contentment without gratitude. They are inseparable. Being grateful for our lives exactly as they are, with all the hardship and the rough edges and the circumstances that we're all dealing with, provides a mindset of knowing that things are not nearly as bad as sometimes we make them out to be. And also it allows us the realization that although things could be better, yes, they could be better, but for the time being, they are manageable. So the simple discipline on engaging on gratitude will make that shift in our minds and in our lives. Now, the key for gratitude, this strategy, it seems so simple and so overlooked, and is also like oversaid. But there is a trick on how we do this gratitude. And that's why we're going to use this time to know how we can actually use gratitude to our advantage and really make it work. And this is how now I'm going to ask you, my friends, to grab your pencil and paper that I asked you at the beginning, because we're going to do a very short exercise, about 2 to 5 minutes, no more than that. So make yourself comfortable, grab a pencil and a paper. And make yourself comfortable, because now we're going to start what is hopefully the first page of your gratitude journal. There is a precise technique. So 3 criteria we need to meet when we cultivate gratitude, to cultivate contentment. The first one is we need to ask ourselves, what makes me at this very moment feel like I am the most, the luckiest person on the planet? And then sometimes feel like, oh, come on, that's too much. That's the question I ask myself. And when I really dig in, I go, oh my God, yes, I am. I am the most personal person on the planet. So the first question is, what makes me feel the most fortunate, the luckiest person on the planet? Now, the second one is, we have to be detail-oriented. Some people tell me, well, Veronica, I am so lucky. I am so fortunate for my life. My life is just wonderful. Well, that's nice, and I'm very happy to hear that. But you know what? That needs detail. What in your life makes you feel that you are the most fortunate person on the planet? Is it your family? Is it your health? Is it your job? Is it your home? What in your life? So we have to be very detail-oriented and really break it down into smallest pieces that you can. And then the last criteria is that we need to start each sentence saying, I am grateful for. So at this moment, we're going to write 10 reasons, 10, that makes you feel that you are the most fortunate person on the planet. You're going to be detail-oriented, and you're going to write from 1 to 10, I am grateful for, and then you fill in the blank. Like, for example, in my case, one of the main things I always say makes me feel that the most fortunate person in the planet is, I am grateful for my eyesight. As a yoga teacher, I teach yoga for the blind. So it makes me feel so fortunate to be able to see faces, to feel colors, to see, to differentiate. I feel extremely fortunate. So you can answer, you can put, fill in the blank, I am grateful for my eyesight, one word, or I am grateful for, and then you can develop a full sentence. So go ahead, my friend, tick-tock, and let us get started. first sentence with one, and then I am grateful for, and start going. I'm going to make sure that the time doesn't go by. Remember to be detail-oriented. Break it down. Focus on the gift that you are enjoying at this moment. Reconnect with the blessings in your life. It doesn't have to be so deep. It could be something extremely superficial, or the deepest, most profound blessing that you're receiving, or anything in between. Gratitude is gratitude, and it totally changes and transforms the energy in your mind, and even your internal chemistry. About 1 more minute. But don't rush if you haven't finished. At least you know you have a few more to go, up to 10 later, hopefully at the end, before the end of the day. All right. So if you haven't finished, then have it very close to you so that before the end of the day, you can complete this simple list. Even thinking about gratitude offers a profound sense of strength and tranquility. So I invite you to save this page now, and you can put it aside. And let this page be the first one of your gratitude journal. Even if you already have a gratitude journal, start a new section in which you apply these 3 criteria. Being detail-oriented and saying, I am grateful for, and asking yourself, what makes me feel the most fortunate person on the planet at this moment? In the hardest moments of my life, engaging in gratitude allowed me to remember how fortunate I was. Now I know that when life goes against the grain, the first thing I do is grab a hold of this tool so that I can regain my sense of reality and my inner peace. Now, no better said than in the words of the author Melody Beattie from her book, The Language of Letting Go. And I want to read this to you because nobody else better than her. This is just a small paragraph. She says, gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos into order, confusion into clarity. It turns problems into gifts, failures into success, the unexpected into perfect timing, and mistakes into important events. Gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. So that kind of wraps up the section of gratitude, because I promise you that we're going to go through over 3 strategies. So that is the first strategy to cultivate contentment, practicing gratitude. That leads us into our second strategy, which is being present. Yes. Friends, we have to take control of our attitude. We cannot just let the mind go wherever it wants to go. No wonder there's so much depression and anxiety. In my coaching practice, I see so many people dealing with depression and anxiety. No wonder, because we need to grab the minds and control our attitude, bring it back into the present moment. Usually people that lack contentment in their lives will often engage in when and then thinking. In other words, when this happens, then I will be happy. That is future thinking. And that is postponing our happiness to an uncertain future, away from all the blessings that we're having at the moment. It takes us away from gratitude. Therefore, there is no contentment. I'm just waiting. When that happens, then I will be happy. Instead, we have to take control of our attitude, because contentment is about finding satisfaction within our present circumstances, regardless of what we're going through. That's why when I share my story, I felt stuck on a cycle. Things were not working, and I was complaining. And because I was complaining, things were not working. Regardless of the present circumstances, we bring the mind into the present moment, and we reconnect with what we have at hand. Another common scenario of not being present and therefore not being content is tragic future thinking. Most of us do that. And that is, at the moment that we indulge in fear, we get lost in a reactionary cycle of thoughts, and without even noticing how, all of a sudden we have traveled very far into the land of tragic happenings in our minds. Again, no wonder there is so much anxiety. Anxiety is future thinking. Because people say, what if? And then, how am I going to manage this? What am I going to do? Be present. Train yourself to grab your mind and bring it back to the present moment. Get grounded right here, right now. Observe your thoughts. Train yourself to observe your thoughts. As soon as the mind starts indulging in fear, remember the reactionary cycle of thoughts that take you into tragic land. We already know where we're going as soon as we start thinking of fear on the infinite possibilities of tragedy, which most of the time don't happen. So we have to train ourselves and take control of our attitude. And then remember the words of what Jesus said. Don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will take care of itself. So we already have 2 fundamental strategies to cultivate contentment. And observe, like I said at the beginning, cultivating, we have to do work. We're not just going to get up in the morning and say, I'm content. We have to do work. The first one is gratitude. We have to sit down and think and bring it, especially in times of hardship. That's when you need it the most. Force gratitude. And I just said one very hard word, force. Forcing gratitude at the hardest moment. Because when we are going through tough times, everything seems so dark that it feels like we have nothing to be grateful for. So at that moment, we had to push the envelope and force gratitude. So that's the first strategy. And the second strategy is to have control of our minds and don't let it just fly into the uncertain future and all the tragedies and the tragic thinking and all the fears and the horrible scenarios. Let's be present and let's stay grounded. And then that leads us to our third and final strategy for cultivating contentment. And that is mindful breathing. Mindful breathing is a powerful stress reduction technique that helps us in cultivating contentment. Think about it. When you are worried and full of fears and complaining and feeling irritable and feeling impatient and unsatisfied, all those thoughts also are affecting your body. And the body responds in very specific ways, very obvious. High blood pressure, high blood sugar, high cholesterol, rapid breathing rate, insomnia, anxiety, depression, naturally. So when we get affected, our body, not only the mind, not just the minds are here. We're not just talking about minds. Our bodies now are, our whole entire bodies and all the organs get affected. So mindful breathing helps us to heal and to reverse that process. Incorporating this very, very simple technique will completely transform the internal chemistry of the body. I am an industrial chemist, my former profession before I became a life coach. And as a chemist, I see everything through the lens of chemistry. And to me, it's so interesting how the mind affects the body and how the body starts secreting different hormones and it changes the chemistry, whether we feel happy or we feel sad, we feel fearful or we feel relaxed. The chemistry changes within us all the time. And the good news is that we have the power to actually take control of those changes in our chemistry. And one of those techniques, very simple, is mindful breathing. Because it's so simple because we're always breathing. Right now, everybody's breathing. So it's something that we don't have to really put time aside or anything. We just, anywhere we are, we just can, not even closing the eyes, just feel, okay, I'm breathing. So I'll tell you how to do it in a few moments. Research from the neurology department of Boston University School of Medicine has proven that mindful slow breathing affects the autonomic nervous system. When the autonomic nervous system is balanced out, the brain also works better. And when the brain also works better, then we're better prepared to tackle the adversities of life and are able to cope with the stresses of life. Therefore, reducing anxiety, insomnia, depression, muscle tension, and the whole list of stress-related conditions. So my friend, I now invite you to an experience of mindful breathing. And since you're home, make yourself comfortable, really comfortable. You can do it on your chair, leaning back, or you can lay down on the bed or in the couch or on the floor, whatever works for you. Just the important thing is that you get yourself comfortable. I want to give you a few moments so that you can find a relaxed, comfortable position. Make sure that, if you have tight clothes or tight belts, kind of unbuckle up. And also relax your shoulders, move your neck a little bit, soften up a little bit. Now I'm going to invite you to close your eyes and to remain with your eyes closed during this practice of mindful breathing, which is one of the 3 fundamental practices to cultivate contentment. So leaning back, softening the body. Do a quick scan from head to toes. And feel as if you are taking a shower of relaxation. Relaxing, first of all, the eyebrow center, the temples, the eyelids. And then keep going down your jaws, inside your mouth, your tongue. Bring the tongue away from the roof of the mouth. Relax your neck. Relax your shoulders, your arms, your hands, your fingers. Progressively continue relaxing your chest, your abdomen, your back, the whole back. Notice your body and keep relaxing it down the hips, legs, and feet. Notice the shape of your body and its weight. Allow the weight to really sink down, whether it's on the chair or in the bed. Relax any areas of tightness and tension. And now tune into the fact that you are breathing. That is a fact. It's an organic function that is taking place 24/7. Bring that fact into your awareness. Just awareness. We're not breathing deeply or slowly. All we're doing is paying attention, being mindful. You don't have to do absolutely anything at all. Just watch the breathing process. Notice where you feel your breath in your body. You may feel it in your abdomen, or you may feel it on the chest, or on the throat, or on the nostrils. Feel the sensations of your body. And continue experiencing, noticing with full awareness, being fully mindful, one breath at a time. When one breath ends, the next one begins. Now, naturally, as you do this, you might notice that your mind starts to wander. Your mind may start thinking about other things, and that is natural. So when this happens, just notice that the mind has wandered, and then very softly, gently, redirect your attention back to the breathing. Keep noticing your breath. Follow the sensation breath. And continue redirecting your attention over and over again to one breath at a time. Now, once again, notice your body, your whole body, right here, right now, in the present moment. And very softly allow your eyes to open. So my wonderful friend, my beautiful friend, living a life of contentment is up to us. It is not up to the circumstances. Learning to be content is a combination of intentional mindset shifts that we have to do, along with some habit changes that we have to implement. This approach has been scientifically proven to reduce your stress levels, to improve the outlook of your life, relax your body, and make your life so much more enjoyable. Cultivate contentment starting today, applying these 3 proven strategies. And I will recall them. The first one is gratitude. The second is being present. And the third one is mindful breathing. With this, my presentation is complete, and I'm so eager to hear questions, answers, comments, and shared experiences. So, Inez, or...
Thank you so much, Vero. I feel so relaxed right now. It's just such a gift where you just, the tools that you have given us, they are priceless.
Thank
priceless.
you. Thank
Especially
you.
in this moment right now that we're living, is so much going on, so much stress. Really, thank you so much. I don't know if any of you have any questions. You can write in the chat. Let me see, Vero, if we have some questions in the chat. Well, there's some comments here.
Okay.
Beautiful, beautiful, Vero. Thank you. The name of the book. The name of the book.
The name of the book is The Language of Letting Go. It's actually daily meditations for people in recovery. And I grab little phrases here and there because this lady, Melody Beatty, is so insightful and so empathetic that it really gets to my heart. And I always share this in both my yoga practice and my coaching practice. I always paraphrase her. So again, is The Language of Letting Go by Melody Beatty. It's an old book.
So there's another question, says, how do you recommend we start our gratitude journal?
Beautiful. Thank you very much. What a wonderful question. Thank you for asking. Starting today, what you did today, 10 reasons. And I like to say, how some people, when I do retreats, I say 10 reasons, and people, okay, 1, 2, I got 3, but wait. Okay, well, I don't know what else I'm thinking. once you train yourself, like I'm trained, but I had to train myself. Like I said, I don't come from that. It didn't come natural. I created the habit. Nowadays, once I start, I can go for 1 or 2 hours. And sometimes I go for a walk and I go 1 or 2 hours and saying, I'm grateful for, I'm grateful for, I'm grateful for. Because if you think about it, how do we start the journal? We already started it. 10 reasons that make you feel grateful. That's it. And for today. Then tomorrow you do it again. Most of the time, people tend to repeat the same question, the same reasons. I really invite you to dig. For example, in my case, I say, I am very, very grateful for my right hand thumb. What would my life be without my right hand thumb? Think about it. Or my left knee and my hips. I'm very grateful for the health of my hips. I am very, very grateful for my vocal cords. I am so dwelling and being very detail-oriented. Once you start, it never ends because every single vein in the body is a reason to be grateful. The fact that we have the luxury, not in Haiti, but here we have the luxury to open the faucet and choose warm, hot, cold, a little more, not quite. Those are blessings that we're receiving every day. And we're so well conditioned, and almost desensitized to how fortunate we are. So dwelling on gratitude, and hear the word, dwelling in gratitude transforms your life. I hope I answered. If I did. Yes.
Then there's more comments. Siempre es tan enriquecedor escucharte. Another one says, just by listening to you, I feel better. Gracias, Vero.
Thank you.
Is there any question? Everyone feels so relaxed. And where you are saying now, I always take a lot of high schoolers to Haiti, and in the school there's no water or electricity. And when they come back, they're so grateful. And just the thought of that makes them, so appreciative and feeling happy, just by remembering that.
Exactly, because like I said, we become so accustomed to how fortunate we are that we actually become desensitized. And then we find ourselves feeling miserable. And again, in my coaching practice, I see it every day. We find ourselves miserable when, things are not working our way. And then all of a sudden we lose touch of reality. So cultivating contentment opens the lens and allows us to see the whole panoramic view of our lives. So cultivating contentment doesn't mean that we deny what is not working. It means actually to come out of that laser focus that we put on what doesn't work. Because that is our human nature. When something doesn't work, we put a laser focus. This doesn't work, and then I get completely obsessed about it. I think about it, I dream about it, I talk about it with my friends, I talk about it with my family, I complain. And then naturally, I feel anxious, I feel discontent, I feel dissatisfied. And I'm losing the sense of reality about everything else. So cultivating contentment, my friends, is not about denying what is happening. It's about keeping it there. It has its point. It's a black dot. I can see it clearly, and it bothers me. At the same time, I have everything else working in my favor. Also, what is the lesson that I need to learn from this difficulty, from this hardship that I'm going through? There are lessons to be learned that prepares us to be better, that prepares us for all the good that we deserve. That's why cultivating contentment brings us out of that tragic future thinking, that when this happens then and only then I will be happy, brings us back to the present, being grounded, and we can not only help ourselves, but also help those around us. I hope that you guys have been able to get something out of this presentation. I love you very much. I feel, again, extremely happy to have been invited to collaborate in my tiny, tiny grain of sand with this amazing mission of Flying High for Haiti. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Vero.
Thank you.
A round of applause for you.
And for you, and for everybody. Thank you very much.
So